Okay, let's be honest. Are you trying to revise the entire geography syllabus? Stop. What if you knew exactly which 9-mark questions were going to be on your exam? So, I've used an AI to predict the absolute most likely 6 and 9-mark questions for your upcoming AQA GCSE Geography paper, and you're not going to believe what it came up with. In this breakdown, we are going to completely tear apart paper 1. But quick disclaimer, you have to promise me you'll still revise everything else, okay? Think of this as your secret weapon, not a magic wand. So, how did the AI even do this? Well, it was a 3-step attack. First, it devoured the entire AQA spec to see what content they have to ask you about. Then, it went back in time reviewing every past paper from 2018 to 2025 to spot the patterns, to see which topics are overdue for a comeback. And finally, and this is the really important bit, it scoured years of examiner reports, and it found that students, year after year, make the same 3 fatal errors that lock them out of the top grades. No named case studies, no specific data, and weak, wishy-washy judgments. We're gonna fix all of that right now. But before I drop these predictions, we have to crack the code. You need to understand AQA's command words. These aren't just suggestions, they are direct instructions on exactly how to structure your answer to get the marks. Right, for a 9-marker, you're probably gonna see evaluate, assess, or to what extent. For evaluate, think of it like a set of scales. You have to look at both sides, the good, the bad, the costs, the benefits, and then in your conclusion, you have to decide which side is heavier, which is more significant. Now, to what extent is similar? You still need a balanced argument, but here's the crucial difference. You have to state your final judgment right at the start in your intro and then prove it. If you sit on the fence, you literally cannot get a grade 9. Okay, you ready? Let's get into it. Prediction number 1 is from the Living World section. The AI is screaming about cold environments. Why? Because a standalone 6-marker on the challenges of development hasn't shown up since 2019. It's way overdue. So here it is, your predicted question. Explain the challenges of developing cold environments. Remember, for a 6-marker, you don't need a big flashy conclusion, but every single point you make has to be developed with detail. So don't just write, it's cold. That gets you nothing. You need specifics. For a top grade answer, you're using Alaska. You'll talk about how winter temperatures plummet to minus 40 degrees Celsius, which means you can only really build stuff in the summer. Then you're going to use the killer term thermokarst. That's when the heat from buildings or pipelines melts the permafrost, making the ground literally sink. So to stop the massive Trans-Alaska pipeline from sinking into the mud, they had to install 800 refrigerated supports along it. And that one detail drove the cost of the project up by a staggering $8 billion. You see? That's the kind of specific data that makes an examiner sit up and take notice. Oh, right. Next up, physical landscapes. The AI is flagging a big one on river management. Yeah, it's been a 6-marker recently, but it is seriously overdue as a full 9-mark evaluation. And think about it, with all the flooding in the UK news, this is a really politically relevant topic right now. It's a prime target. Here's prediction number 2. Evaluate the effectiveness of hard and soft engineering strategies in managing flooding. For this, your case study is the River Eden in Cumbria, and you're going to start with the absolute chaos of Storm Desmond back in 2015, which dumped an unbelievable 341 millimeters of rain in just 24 hours. The result? £500 million worth of damage. Okay, here's how you structure your argument. For hard engineering, you talk about the flood walls in Carlisle. They cost 38 million quid, they gave people immediate protection, but Storm Desmond went right over the top of them. This proves they can create a dangerous false sense of security. Then, for your contrast, you talk about soft engineering, like the £100 million scheme on the Somerset levels, which is all about floodplain zoning and creating wetlands. And then you bring it all home with this absolute killer judgment. Soft engineering is way more sustainable in the long run because it works with nature, not against it. But hard engineering is still totally essential in big cities where the cost of the buildings and infrastructure is so high that it justifies the expense. That's a top-level conclusion. Okay, last one. Section A, natural hazards. AQA absolutely loves tectonic hazards. And this year, the AI is betting on an evaluation question that makes you compare the different types of impacts. And here it is. To what extent are the primary effects of a tectonic hazard more significant than the secondary effects? Now remember what we said about to what extent questions. You state your thesis immediately. Don't wait. You could say something like, the secondary effects are actually far more devastating, especially for a low-income country or a newly emerging economy. You're going to use the 2015 Nepal earthquake. The primary effects are horrifying, right? 7,800 people killed instantly, 3 million people homeless. But the secondary effects, this is where you score the big marks. You talk about the avalanches triggered on Mount Everest, the landslides that blocked rivers and roads, which massively hindered rescue efforts, and you mention the $5 billion in long-term economic damage. And you conclude with this powerful statement. While the primary effects cause the immediate shock and trauma, it's the secondary effects that are ultimately more significant because they completely cripple a poorer country's ability to recover. And there you have it. That is your ultimate data-backed cheat sheet for Paper 1. The secret to a grade 9 is not magic, it's simple. Specific numbers and strong, justified conclusions. Every time. If you found this useful, do me a favor, smash the like button, save this to your revision playlist right now, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. You've got what you need for Paper 1, so now it's time to click the video on screen for the AI's predictions for Paper 2. Let's do this.